How is it going, everyone? We are back with another watch list. Where's the time going? The weeks, the days, the months, they are just absolutely flying by. So thank you so much for watching. First things first, shout out to every single veteran, first responder. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your time. Thank you for providing our freedom. You are appreciated not just today, but every single day. So wanted to give a shout out to anyone. My father is a veteran of 30 years as well. So just try to remember the meaning of today and try to thank those around you that are in that line of work. Because seriously, they're twice the person I'll ever be, and the sacrifices they made are just tremendous. So thank you, and you are appreciated. Let's get into the watch list here. So we're going to be covering SPY, QQQ, NQ, NES, and SPX. So we had some tariff news over the weekend, 50% cut or so on Europe. I'm not listen, I have my levels, have my zones, the news and everything. While I pay attention to it, I do not let it dictate my entire mindset of trading. I have my levels and zones, I follow that. But nonetheless, I'm not quite sure exactly what the deal was he made, but I know that there was tariff news. But as you can see, we had a huge move up. I had a supply zone here on the chart. This 4-hour supply zone was pretty big as well. It came down in here. We ripped right through it and now made demand. So we do have this demand zone. It's a 4-hour, 3-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour demand zone all in one. If I go to the 4-hour, you can see it here. I'm not going to mark this whole zone. That would be a huge zone. So I'll just mark, some other parts of the zone with the levels here. But we have this 4-hour demand. Again, inside that 4-hour demand, we have the 3-hour demand. See, this looks a lot better, so I have marked that. Then if you go down to the 2-hour, we have 2-hour demand as well, have the wick and the open mark there as well. And then 1-hour, I believe, 1-hour demand as well. So I'm going to be watching reaction to these levels here, the zone here. And then as you can see, just above it, we have supply. So 4-hour supply. In that 4-hour supply is also a 3-hour supply and 2-hour supply. So for ES and NQ, I just marked supply and demand. This is the range that we're in. I'm going to look for a reaction of this supply. I'm going to look for a bounce at this demand, or get over this supply or get below this demand. Like that, it's as simple as it gets. And it's going to be the same thing on QQQ. It was a 4-hour zone. In the 4-hour zone, we had a 2-hour zone as well. And I don't remember if there's a 3-hour zone or not. Let me double check. 3-hour zone as well, but no extra levels here simply because they're already marked based off the 4-hour and the 2-hour as well. So I'll be watching this demand zone. Same thing, we have a supply zone just above. I'm going to watch for a reaction of supply, a reaction to demand, a break above and continuation, or a break below and continuation. It's really that simple. Now, for SPY and QQQ, right? Listen, with the levels that I have right now, I have a supply zone here, this 4-hour and 45-minute, but we're going to open up above that. We're going to open up based off ES. We're probably going to open up at 586 or higher. Right, going back to ES, where is it at currently? I think it's like 58 something, 58.94. So going back to SPY, like I'd imagine we're going to open up above this supply for sure. So I will be removing this zone in the morning. We'll have the previous day high here. First thing I'm going to be looking for is just to hold that previous day high and move up to 586 if we're not over that as well. Over 586, if we're not over that as well, I'll look for continuation above 586. But above that, we have a huge supply zone here. Same thing on QQQ as well, but we have this 4-hour supply. In that 4-hour supply, we have 3-hour supply and 2-hour supply as well. I'll take you down to the 2-minute. You can see that here. Small green candle followed by large red. So longing over 586, while possible, definitely would be quick because I'm going to be watching reactions to the supply zone here. However, with a big gap up, opening up above the previous day high as well, even at a supply zone here, unless I get the absolute best world-beating confirmation with a damn near perfect entry, I'm not going to go against the trend and try to catch a top. I'd look for a continuation play under the EMAs, and ideally not looking at shorts unless we're under the gap or under the previous day high, because we're obviously going to gap up. So this is going to act as like a gap fill, right? If under this open of tomorrow session, under that open, that I will look for price to fill the gap down to the previous day high if we are under the EMAs as well. All right. So that's going to be huge for tomorrow. And under if we move down, of course, I'll be looking for shorts underneath the previous day low as well. But we're not probably going to get there. Lastly, we have QQQ, very similar look. Again, we're going to open up above the previous day high. So I'll look for price to come fill the gap under the opening price of tomorrow. But again, over the previous day high, my next resistance zones are going to be 517. And then we have this major supply zone as well. It's a 4 hour, 2 hour, or sorry, 4 hour, 3 hour, and 1 hour supply zone. Sorry, 3 hour, 2 hour, and 1 hour supply zone here on QQQ. 3 hour. Then if I go to the 2 hour, same thing, 2 hour supply. And then if I go to the 1 hour, same thing. Oh, went a little too far. You can see here, 1 hour supply. So that's going to be all the way up here at 518, 520, 522. I'll be looking for reactions at those levels for plays. All right. Lastly, SPX is kind of hard to tell just because obviously SPX does not chart after hours. Again, we're going to open up above this previous day high here, where I'll be above this gap as well. So I can look for this gap to hold as support. It really just depends on where we open up, what gaps we're going to make, and then what gaps we're going to look to fill. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So that's going to be everything this week. Again, my trading system is very simple. Previous day high, previous day low, pre-market high, pre-market low, supply and demand. I look for confirmation, price action to confirm, volume even better if it's there as well to confirm. Ideally, the EMAs and VWAP are aligned with the system as well. And what that means is calls over my EMAs and VWAP, they're aligned with the level. Again, for example, if we're over the previous day high, right, I would like to see the EMAs over the previous day high as well for those retests, rather than trying to short under the EMAs, trying to long under EMAs and under VWAP, even if it's at a key level like a previous day low. Like for example, if we move down the previous day low, but we're under all the EMAs, we're under the VWAP, I'm not looking to long until we get above, till we reclaim those EMAs and VWAP as well. But it's very simple. Break and retest, price action and volume to confirm, key levels, and EMAs and VWAP aligned. That's the system. That's my edge. So that's what I'll be looking for this week. So thank you again to the veterans. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a great rest of your day and have a great week inside and outside the market. And lastly, I will see you all in the next watch list. Peace.